Welcome to another episode of the Peak Podcast, where we are chasing the journey to fulfillment with so many thought leaders and professionals out there. My name is Kyle Nelson. I have my co-host here, Mr. Eli Libby, and we have an awesome honor to be having a great guest today on the Peak Podcast.
We are pumped. Cannot wait. You guys are going to be so pumped. He's given so much value already. We've been in a couple sessions with him, and the stuff he has is going to change your world. So get ready for this one.
Absolutely. But before we get started, a little about us. We are the coaches of the Peak Fulfillment Men's Coaching Program, where we help millennial male tech entrepreneurs how to craft a balanced lifestyle through being self-aware of the limiting beliefs that are holding them back from reaching their full potential. So if that sounds like something down your alley, make sure to contact us at peakfulfillmentcoaching.com. And without further ado, we're going to have Charles Alexander as our guest today. He is a business coach for over 2 decades, author, speaker, but more importantly, he is the creator of the 4-day work week for overworked entrepreneurs. So let's bring him in.
Boom. That's a lot. Dude, that's a lot to live up to. Good Lord.
Oh, you got it. We know you got it.
Hi. How are you boys doing?
Doing great. Doing great. Thank you so much for being here. We are excited. We've got a good chunk of questions. Again, for all the listeners, it's the same set of questions that we ask every guest. You guys can absorb what these thought leaders are saying and how they're thinking. But before we do that, 2 quick icebreakers. Charles, you ready?
I guess. Yes, icebreakers. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
1, favorite breakfast food?
Woo, eggs. It's boring, but I love them.
Okay. Kyle?
Are you a hot sauce boy?
Yeah, dude. I'm
straight
straight
hot
up.
sauce kind of guy? Or?
Hey, we're straight up in Tennessee. All the hot sauces, the Frank's Red Hot, the Louisiana, the Texas Pete. Sign me up, dude.
Wow.
I love it.
Very good. Kyle, what do you got, man? Just real quick.
Big fan of breakfast sandwiches. Load it up.
Okay.
I want everything on there in between gluten-free bread.
Gluten-free bread.
Can't have gluten.
Nice. I'd have to go breakfast burritos if I'm throwing something out there all day.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I can do that.
Charles, last question here. If you were to invite 3 people, living or dead, to a dinner party, who would they be and why?
3 people.
3 people.
Man,
dead or alive?
Maybe I should invite 3 people that don't like each other and just sit back and watch. 3 people. Oh man, it's going to be cheesy to say, but I mean, you'd have to invite Jesus even if you weren't a Christian, right? Wouldn't you have all the questions? And you wouldn't have to invite anybody else. You just have all the questions for him.
Exactly.
And I would probably ask a bunch of dumb, non-Jesus Christian questions.
Hey, but you have the answers.
He would tell me to love your neighbor as yourself and don't put anybody else in front of me. And then that's all he would tell me. But past that, I don't know, dude. I've got, Seth Godin is always a pretty good one to bring on board.
Nice.
And then we'll throw my wife in. She probably like to meet both of them.
There you go. Awesome.
I love it. That's awesome.
Well, perfect. Cool. So
go for it.
After we get through after these icebreakers, what we really want to dive into, Charles, is within 2 minutes, let us know who you are, what your background is, how you got to where you are today, and where you're heading.
All right. 2 minutes or less. Here we go. Charles Alexander. I have been a full-time business coach for almost 2 decades. Love what I do. Help people in every way, shape, form, or fashion. In addition to that, I own a business creating explainer videos for busy professionals. I launched that a few years ago.
Very cool.
And it almost runs autonomously without me. Outside of that, I published a book last year, Start Now, Quit Later, to teach people how to start and grow a business without quitting their full-time job, because that's what I did. And then I launched a podcast just like you, gentlemen. Do more by doing less. You can see a running theme here, and now that has brought me to where I am. The thing I am most pumped, geeked about is helping overworked entrepreneurs create a 4-day work week. I got to that. All of that got me here over several years of doing everything wrong, time management style, and finally found out how to turn it on its head. And that really hit me during the pandemic when we were homeschooling and helping everybody through every possible business issue known to mankind. And I figured out there was a better way. Was that
amazing?
2 minutes? I like 2 minutes.
No, that was perfect.
Dude, you nailed that.
That was perfect.
Spot on.
Yeah, you nailed that. Charles, I was lucky enough to be a guest real quick in one of your sessions that you put on. And there's a quick exercise. I think we can take a quick
Yeah.
call a quick audible real quick. The
Do it.
exercise that you talked about multitasking
Mm-hmm.
has stuck in my head ever since I listened to you kind of talk through that. The one where
Sure.
you're writing out multitasking
Yeah.
and you're writing it out. Can you just explain that real quick to
Sure.
the audience? Because I think we have a lot of entrepreneurs that really get distracted, and your exercise truly defined why multitasking is ineffective and unproductive.
Fun fact, we're doing a podcast right now, so whoever is listening is almost certainly mowing the yard, driving, lifting weights,
That's
or
true.
doing the
That's
dishes.
very true.
That's very
They are
true.
multitasking, but that's a different kind of multitasking. We
Mhm.
take that for granted and we want to apply that to everything else. I have people tell me all the time, Charles, I can walk and chew gum. Fantastic. You're not a moron. The rest of us, though, need to do one thing at a time. And the way I demonstrate that to you is if it stop what you're doing, hit pause, folks, go grab a pen and paper. All right, unpause your back. Great. I want you to do something simple. Write the word multitask just out as you would see it. multitask. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you've written it, right? Fantastic. Now we're going to do it differently. Now I want you to visualize the word multi horizontally, but task is vertical, straight up and down. And I want you to write multi, but start with an M, but then you got to go down to the T for task. And then you got to go back up to the U horizontally and then down to the A vertically. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. How long does that take you? It takes you about 4 or 5 seconds, and you did it wrong. That's what multitasking does to our brains, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing multiple things at the same time. We're switching back and forth between 2 or 3 different things and not doing any of them very well at all.
That's cool.
Boom.
I mean, it's in the name, right?
Yeah.
it's
How neat.
Man, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. I just took that nugget away, and I
Yeah.
guarantee our audience would. It just it's really put it in perspective. When
It's like having multiple browser tabs open, and when you've got that 17th tab open, your computer slows down. You're the same way, except you can't compute nearly as quickly as your machine does.
Yep. Absolutely. Exactly. Wow.
So to kind of wrap up these icebreakers, when was there a time in your personal or business life where you can truly feel like you overcame adversity?
Tell you what,
I'll
well, I'll tell you what, I'll go back to that little bit of a pandemic story. And right now, strangely enough, and I know you guys are sick of talking about it. I am too, but look, we're right at 4 years out. My kids are now 15, 12, and 11. So not 4 years off each. That's 11, 8, and 7. And I'm sent home. It's like, hey gang, we're gonna work from home for a few weeks and ride this whole COVID thing out. Okay. So I'm working from, I'm out of the office working from home. My wife has done this forever. She has owned her own bookkeeping business. This is old hat to her, but new business for me. And everyone in the world is coming to me trying to figure out, when do we reopen? How do we bring employees back? How do we say we're safe? By the way, what is this payroll protection program loan? And do I have to pay it back? And EIDL and all these funny letters that the Small Business Administration is throwing at me. Boys, I'm telling you, I'm working nonstop every day. I've got my checklist and it's wearing me out. And then my explainer video business is blowing up because, hey, everybody suddenly knows the importance of video. One specific day, the wife has locked the door. It's time to do payroll. Charles, you're in charge. The kids are coming to me one at a time. The oldest, Ava, is coming in. She's not in tears, but close. Daddy, help me. I can't get onto this thing called Google Classroom. Well, what's that? Well, I don't know. Let's find out together. So we pop open, get her logged in. She's working. I shut the door. I go back. And as I go back, I start to check an email. And the email is from a client I haven't seen in forever. And they ask me a question. So I start to research it. And then boom, Lily, the middle child, comes in. And she's, Daddy, this iPad won't work. All right, well, Pumpkin, here's the thing. See, we got to plug it in. It's not charged. Oh, okay, great. So I go back. I start doing my work again. I'm bouncing all over the place. Last but not least, my baby boy Lane pops in. Daddy, I can't get on Zoom. Keep in mind, this dude is like a first grader at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I finally get him into Zoom. And you want to see, hey, the funniest thing you'll ever see in your life is 20 first graders on a Zoom for the first time in their life. All you see is the top of their heads. Half of them ain't wearing a shirt. It's bananas, dude. So I turn him loose, and then I go back to work, and then I'm trying to focus on one thing. All right, I'm doing research for a client. Oh, and then I go check my text. Oh, then I go check my phone.
Mhm.
And within 5 minutes, I have interrupted myself way more than my kids ever did. And right then it solidified. Like, I don't need them to interrupt me. And they're my babies. They
Right.
need my help. I'm
Mhm.
interrupting myself perfectly fine. And that is when everything started to change for me.
Mm.
Like, no more. I've taught time management forever. I've taught it wrong. The only person that's holding me back is not the rest of the world. It's me, and I'm doing it voluntarily. And that, go back to your question. It
Yeah.
sounds silly to say I overcame that, but that's like this
That's
big
huge.
aha moment. And I say aha moment, for most people, they've got like this giant bright bulb, like they're in the Looney Tunes cartoon that goes off overhead. Mine's like a
Right.
dimly lit fluorescent light in an old prison B movie that's just kind of flickering. But then I realized, like, yes,
Yeah.
this is the problem.
Wow.
That's
powerful.
awesome.
Powerful.
That's
man.
awesome. So when you were going through all of that and you were kind of walking through honestly, the life as a dad during COVID with all your kids, did you feel? Oh, when I think of adversity, I think of resilience as
Sure.
well. And coming out of that, was there a moment where you're like, man, like all of these things that added up, like mentally and physically, like
Mhm.
how did you come out of that? Did you feel like you were able to bounce back and be resilient
Yes,
during COVID?
yes. Well, granted, we're going all through the same thing at the same time. Some days are
Yeah.
highs and some days are lows. We were pretty lucky. We all knew some folks that were really struggling, and we weren't one of them. We had everything we needed, and life was good. But you still had ups and downs throughout that period. And the thing that helped me kind of overcome or get through that, I was reading a book by Cal Newport called Deep Work. Listener, viewer, write that down. That one's a game changer. Deep Work by Cal Newport, basically teaching you how to really focus in and create work that matters and how to block out that time. And it's just, I hate the term game changer, but that's what it was, a game changer for me. So in terms of working through that and finding the success, that book kind of, I was rereading it at that point, and I could show you, if I had it with me, the margins. I started writing all in the margins like a wild man. It looks like a ransom note, my book does now at this point, because I was taking at all these thoughts coming out of my head. So while I'm doing, working already 10 hours, I start getting up and reading every morning, and then I start typing about 1,000, 2,000 words a day. And all of that was just incoherent rambling, but it was just these thoughts and examples and analogies I had. And over a period of time, I went back and I've revisited them, and they've become content I've used on videos or podcasts, and they've become parts of the book that I wrote, and they've become, things you share online. And now I've used them until they finally figured out, oh, this thing is what I've worked on. This is teaching people how to tighten up their work week and have time freedom outside of the money freedom that they've gotten, but they didn't get the thing they wanted in the first place, was to be able to do what they want when they want it.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. You were proactive with your time. A lot of people during COVID, it's like, or during the lockdowns and stuff, people got PTSD from it. Right?
Oh, of course. Yes.
And there's this difference between loneliness and solitude. A lot of people were lonely. They didn't understand what to do with their time, but a lot of people came out stronger because they, like you were able to be proactive with your time and use it to, push yourself.
It is.
Experience game changers.
And I don't want to sound tone deaf, because I know so many people that did not have the same, I was locked in a bubble with our neighbors, and we got along great.
Totally.
And I've got my kids, but there's other people that, don't live on a 2-acre plot of land that backs up to a farm. They're in a tiny apartment in New York by themselves, and they don't have a job they love. So we were blessed, that was a major blessing to us, and other folks didn't get to have that.
Crazy. Yeah, it was a wild time. And when you mentioned first graders, Zoom cameras pointed their head, the shirt off, I kind of thought that maybe I was a first grader. I don't know. I feel like that kind of brought me back.
It's fun, right? Eli running around, his shirts on his head.
I know. Oh man. Well, let's jump into the meat of the content. And the first question revolves around why we started our business and our program. So, Charles, how do you personally define fulfillment?
I keep it really simple, and it may even not be the correct way to define fulfillment, but it's to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. If you can do that, you're fulfilled.
That's huge. That's
Done.
spot on
Podcast
to
over.
how we define it as well. I feel
Well,
like
good.
I think a lot of people define fulfillment with the word success.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
success is so broad and just like, well, what
Yeah.
is success, right? We all have
Yeah.
different definitions.
It's a
But
it's a nebulous term.
exactly. And a lot of people associate monetary items and money with
Sure.
success. But once you, educate yourself, there's more to it. But it's all about, man, fulfillment's, living what you're made for. Whatever your purpose is, if you can go
That's
on
right.
that journey and you're making impact in this world, I think you feel pretty fulfilled at the end of the day.
I agree. You're talking about finding your calling or what you're supposed to do, and it's going to be different for
Right.
everybody else. I love to
Absolutely.
tell stories and teach people. My wife, on the other hand, she likes people, but if I were to put her in front of here doing this, she'd be terrified. But she's twice as smart as I am and loves spreadsheets and QuickBooks, which is
Yeah.
horrifying to me. But that's her
Yeah.
happy place, so she's fulfilled because she's making a living doing that, and
Dude, totally.
she's done well enough. She can come and go as she pleases with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Charles, you feel fulfilled personally, right? If you were to say, am I fulfilled or am I not fulfilled? I feel like from what you said, with your passion and your calling and your alignment is around coaching and teaching people,
Yeah.
and then bake on top of that, doing what you want, where you want, with the people you want.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you feel like you've at
Wouldn't
least
this
on
be
the
a
path? It's never a full. You're never
Right.
going to actually reach it. But do you feel like
It's all
you're
about the
on
journey, not the
the correct
destination.
path on that journey?
Wouldn't it be a terrible turning point for me to come out and say, no, I'm just so sad, Eli?
Life sucks.
Oh, they'd have to come back and do some editing. Yeah, dude, I'm fulfilled. It's funny. I always heard people growing up talking about, the older they got, the kind of the happier they got. And you could kind of see like, man, you're getting old. You can't get out here and, you can't play ball the way you used to. And
Right.
you're getting a little pudgy around the waist. What do you mean you're happier? And they are, what they meant was they finally have done this long enough. And the point you were making, that the straight line to success is a very curvy, crazy looking one, is that they figured out what they're supposed to be doing and they're doing it. And as long as they can make a couple of bucks, keep a roof over their head, they're pretty freaking happy. So yeah, so far right now, this is me at my happy point.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
For
sure.
It's so true. I mean, like, I got my degree in entrepreneurship, and so really they're just telling you to chase the dollar. And so when I was 22, I'm like, dude, I'll be fulfilled once I've got money in my pocket.
Sure.
And that never, you're just always chasing that. And then once you get older, I'm like, as long as my bills are paid, I got a little extra to go on a family vacation, my kids go to a good school, and I can focus on my mental health and my relationship with my wife, I'm good to go.
I think you're spot on, man. And a lot of people get confused over that because they want to make a lot of money. I know this isn't nice to say, but money can buy you freedom. But most folks forget that once they make the money.
Exactly. Yes.
Great point.
Totally agree. We've seen that with a lot of our friends that we know and people and mentors. It's like, well, money didn't get you what you were looking for. So
yeah.
Cool. Next question. We're going to fire over at you. What are some of the self-care practices that you do to mitigate stress and chaos in your life?
All right. So it sounds a little on the woo-woo side. You guys would probably appreciate it. First thing in the morning, I make every effort in the world before the rest of the house stirs is to get up, journal just a little bit. I know it sounds silly, like a man diary, but I'm basically emptying the junk drawer of my brain that's clogged up with all of the things I did the day before, the worry the following day. And, NFL free agency, who are the Titans going to sign? I got to get that crap out of my head because it's not helpful. And then if I can, I'll either read or pray or meditate. Not all three, because just time, gets away from you. But that helps set the tone of my day. Now, throughout the day, I made it, it's a couple of years ago. I've always been off and on in the gym. A couple of years ago, I made it mandatory. The gym goes on the list of my calendar before everything else does throughout the course of the week. And if that means I miss a sales call, podcast, guesting opportunity, I don't go, because if I don't go to the gym, I can't get everything else right. And I know for some folks it's a treasury, but once you build up that old man, the dad stress, you figure out that you can bench press it or squat it out of you, man, it feels amazing. And then the last thing on the list, and this will be I swear the last time I bring up the pandemic, I don't even like talking about it, but our pandemic purchase, because everybody made like a stupid purchase when
Absolutely.
they were in lockdown.
Yes.
Ours was an infrared sauna. And
Oh,
we
nice.
use that thing religiously, man. I love getting in there and just sweating until I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah, nice.
You
Mine
were
was
ahead
a
of the curve.
Bowflex.
A
My
Bow
pandemic.
Flex?
Yeah, no.
What'd you do? Find that on Facebook Marketplace? I didn't know they still made those.
Yes, I did. That was my purchase, and it just did not. Yeah, didn't use it. Did not use it.
Dude, I loved those commercials back in the day.
But
I
yeah,
know.
man, like you're saying with the stress mitigation, it's those non-negotiables, right?
To me, it is. Yes, I've got.
Yep.
If I don't go to the gym, my body, my brain, everything knows I didn't do it. And if I skip, and I do this sometimes, if I skip
Totally.
journaling for a few days, I can tell I'm unloading the dishes at the house, and the kids will ask me a simple question. I snap at them like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you, dude? Like,
Right.
well, you've been ignoring, dumping the junk drawer out.
Absolutely. Well, are you a morning guy, evening guy, afternoon gym guy?
Morning, mid morning's my magic time. God, dude, I'm 48. It's taking me forever to figure that out. First thing in the morning is great because you feel like you're on fire and you can get it all done. But that time was like my planning and doing. And so I would try to do like most important thing, an hour and a half block, first thing in the morning. And it's usually creating, whether it's training materials or working on slides or writing. That's my time. I'm fired up. Then I'll knock out a few admin tasks for my checklist part of my brain. Then I go to the gym. It's right before lunch.
Got it.
Nice.
Got it.
Eli and I
Very
were in
cool.
the gym together at 4 a.m. this morning. We
Oh
had a
my
little
God.
workout together. Yeah, we're nuts.
Popped up at 3:30.
Dude, I get up at 3:30 if we're headed on vacation.
Yeah, because you got to catch a flight, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So this is going to it's not going to sound repetitive, but I think it's going to add another layer to what you just said. And it is about a daily routine.
Yes.
Consistent daily routine that you do, but the layer is to drive productivity. What is that routine that you do consistently every day to drive productivity?
Well, that starts at the beginning of the week. So it doesn't take long, 15, 20 minutes of every week on a Monday morning. I leave it. My calendar doesn't have anything on it. That's planning time. And most of the time, my week has already gotten filled to some degree. I've gotten very religious about using different days for different activities. So if I'm doing podcast hosting, podcast guesting, if I'm talking to people, sales calls, referral calls, those happen Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, and they're blocked off and I get in that zone. Like right now, I've been talking to people all day. So my words are flowing hopefully effortlessly at this point because I've been in that mode, and I make sure that I've got a task day where I'm, it's kind of a dumb day, basically. I'm getting through all the things that I need to knock out that I haven't yet not delegated or outsourced. So every day so when you're saying productivity, every day's got kind of its own theme. It's a batch day. It's a creation day. It's using the same concept like athletes have. They have a game day. They have practice day. They have rest day. So that each day kind of has that theme. Now it's very imperfect, but I'm striving toward making it much more perfect. So in looking at how that's what drives the productivity, because most people, going back to the multitask thing, they try to make their day have as much variety as possible, which sounds cool and makes you feel busy, but is not productive because bouncing around all day. And I'm going to go answer email for a while, and then I'm going to go run off to this meeting, and then I'm going to go to a networking event, and I'm going to write a little bit. Then, once you bounce back and forth, you're opening all these loops, and you got a lot of brain residue, and it's piling up. And we've all had that day where like, man, I was so busy today, but what did I do? So my thing for the each day productivity is to get it kicked off at the beginning of the week, stack the calendar with the themes of that day, and then, man, it's pretty easy. After that, you just show up.
I love that. I don't know about you, Kyle. I haven't heard that, and I love how you're batching and breaking your week up based on theme. I think that's super powerful.
And go, Kyle.
No, I mean, a takeaway that I got was, and I don't even know if you're trying to make this point, but like you said, like, hopefully I'm flowing really well right now because I've been talking all day about these things. And my mind kind of just clicked. well, then maybe it's important to have like your most valuable, important meetings towards the end of the day, or maybe midday. So you already kind of warmed up and you kind of started flowing. Because I could definitely see like first thing in the morning, you're still kind of, your mind might be a little,
Totally.
jumbled. And it was a takeaway that I think actually would work really well for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on each person. So for a lot of people, they try to come in off the weekend and Monday's going to be their creation day. Dude, Monday's not my creation day. Monday, I'm running wide open from the weekend. I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
Monday's an admin day for me. Tuesday, I've cleared the junk drawer, and then that's my creation day. And then I've got, like I said, Thursdays and Fridays, I've stacked all of these talking points because that's the thing I look forward to. That's what I enjoy the most. So it's like when you're having dessert, that's the last thing you eat, or we do.
Yeah.
This sounds so goofy, man. Like me and my wife, we have certain meals we love, and we can always tell, like, you say that giant piece of salmon for right there at the end, didn't you? Because you're watching, like, you ate all the broccoli first, so you want to end on a high note. That's what I do that with on Thursdays and Fridays for myself.
I love it.
I love
my
that.
wife definitely does that with her meals. Sorry,
Yeah,
they
all do.
Yeah,
I would
that
rate
last
the
piece
best
of steak,
bite.
Yeah, always the best bite.
I'd
It's all
say the
stacked.
best bite, like the end of a burrito. Ooh, that's a good
This
bite.
guy and his burritos.
I'm telling you, I'll go all day. Do you budget a day? Do you create a theme in a day for fun for yourself that you're doing something for you? Probably more categorized towards fun. Is that in your week? Or is that
Well, it depends on what you mean by fun. So what we're doing right now, as nerdy as it sounds, this is my fun part.
Yeah.
This is what I enjoy doing the most, or when I have the most energy and the most thoughtful is usually those Tuesday mornings. And that's when I try to schedule that time out to create something, because, I get stagnant. So I've got to write, I've got to edit, I've got to, pump out some new slides for some new material I've been working on. But I don't, and I probably should. I get what you're talking about. Most of my quote unquote fun days are going to be the off days. So during the summer, I'm diligent about making sure I take Fridays off. Fridays are fun days during the summer. The kids are out, I'm out, the wife's out, and she's the good one about scheduling stuff. I just show up like a dummy, but she'll make sure that we're going to go hike today, or I'll go to the gym, or we're going to all go, I've got a pool. We're going to today's pool day. So yes, that at that point I do.
Awesome. That's perfect.
That's good. All right, we're going to wrap up these questions. This one's loaded. You've obviously had some great success in your life. You've gone through obviously some ups and downs like all of us. And through that, typically we find our purpose, our North Star. So we're curious, what is your purpose? What's driving you towards that North Star? What is that North Star, and how did that come to fruition for you?
Well, I'll skip the cheesy answers. I know the North Star is supposed to be your faith in your family, and all of those are absolutely true. But in terms of quote unquote finding your calling or the thing you're supposed to do, I've got locked in on this helping people to find time freedom. I'm calling it a 4-day work week. And that looks different for different people. Some folks are at a 7-day work week and they just want to get down to 6. So, hey, brother, that's what I'm helping them do. But I know entirely too many people that are my age, or God forbid younger, that have made the money they want to make, and they look twice as old as I do, and they shouldn't look that way. And there's a reason they do. And they bought into the belief that they've got to be hashtag hustle grind 24/7, checking email at 9 p.m, skipping out on dance and basketball games, and missing out, hanging out with their family on the weekends because they're working on something else. Dude, I'm out on that. And, to I don't know. You're talking about North Star. We don't have this. This is a terrible way to end, but we don't have that much longer left. I mean, I'm 48. I was just 8. I remember that. How'd I get here so quickly? I've only got a little time left. So does the rest of us. So we don't need to spend it doing things we don't love doing, we're not good at. We need to find what you're good at, spend the time doing that, and eliminate the rest.
Man,
couldn't agree more. I mean, it's so important, especially when you can ground yourself every day with that thought process. Yeah. That's really hard to do because you get into the grind and the hustle of everything. Right?
I know. There's a whole culture.
There is. But man, if you can really ground yourself with understanding like life is short, and why would you spend your time on things that aren't productive for your own health?
Nobody's on the deathbed talking about, I wish I could scroll through TikTok one more time.
Totally. Preaching to the choir. I can't.
Nope, not at all.
Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for kind of running through all these questions with us.
Yeah.
We love hearing just everyone's different answers and their different kind of takes on the questions. Really enjoyed our conversation with you. So to kind of wrap things up, Charles, why don't you let everyone know exactly, who you're looking for to help, what you can do for them, and where they can find you.
All right. Make this very simple. Go to yourcharlesalexander.com. Easy website to remember. All you have to do is go to the homepage. From there, I've got the links to take you through how to create your own 4-day work week. The people I am looking for are not that complicated. They don't have to be 8-figure earners. If you are at a point where you have money freedom, but not time freedom, if you would prefer to spend more time with your family and less time with your email, if you've got a couple of processes in place, but not many, and you want to delegate rather than be the bottleneck, I'm your guy. Plus, you got to be nice and fun. I have a no jerks policy.
I guess I'm not jumping on board.
Poor Kyle, he got kicked out. Nobody that works out at 4 a.m. in my community.
Yeah.
Dude, Charles, that's
only
awesome,
burrito
man.
eaters.
Yeah, burrito eaters and the occasional egg with hot sauce eaters.
That's it,
but
dude.
Never the breakfast sandwich, guys. Charles, thanks so much, man. We always appreciate what you bring to the table, through this podcast, through, some other coaching programs that we're all part of. And dude, just thanks for really, really bringing the value today.
Yeah.
Kyle, Eli, I appreciate it, fellas, and hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Charles. Great to have you here.
Well, awesome. We really appreciate tuning in. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our podcast and check out our website at peakfulfillmentcoaching.com. If you're looking to create a little bit of balance in your life, get some self-awareness going, really challenge those limited beliefs and unlock that full potential. If you're wanting to hear more great thought leaders just like Charles, make sure to tune in on the next episode of the Peak Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.